Hey, y'all. Thank you and welcome back to another great episode of Coaching Conversations. My name is Nick Seiler, obviously, and today I'm going to be speaking with one of our really cool, funky clients from UpCoach to share their story and what they've learned from coaching and, how they've reached their success. And I've got to tell you, today my super guest star is Matt from Sammat Education. Thank you, buddy, and welcome to the show.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
So, Matt, I wanted to just start, Matt, to tell us a little bit about your business because it's really awesome, man. I love what you're doing, and we've been working together for a few years now. And just tell me a little bit about the business and what you do, within the business, and just a little snapshot.
Yeah. So basically, we're an education company that helps schools and teachers integrate technology into the classroom. I'm an ex-teacher myself. I spent probably a decade in the classroom and worked my way up through the ranks to be a head teacher, and then got a stint of deputy principal there, which was good. And that sort of gave me the idea of what was sort of lacking in regards to teaching professional learning around the use of technology, especially in primary schools. We've got in high school the experts around technology, the specialist teachers, but in primary school, the jack of all trades. They've got to know everything. So it was about setting up the business to support those particular teachers and those schools integrate technology, which is double, tripling every sort of 18 months in regards to what we have access to, new things that are coming on board. So we've got to teach the kids on how to navigate their way through that. And the teachers are the first port of call in that. So that's sort of what the aim is to improve the outcomes for those kids in the classroom, get them to use the latest technology, giving them skills to be lifelong learners, really.
And what's good about that too, I think, kids and technology, especially today, with these mobile phones, right? But, they pick it up so quick and they're very adaptive versus, an old fogey like me. It's I think it's good. I read somewhere that, by the time they graduate almost at university, they're teaching them stuff now that jobs haven't even been invented.
And that's
crazy, right?
Well, that's even first year uni. You could be doing a first year university degree and you're getting taught stuff that in 4 years' time is obsolete. So that's one thing about getting teachers comfortable with the notion that they don't have to be the experts with the devices that they're using. The kids are the experts in the devices. Kids can troubleshoot the issues that they might come up with when they're using a particular device in the classroom. But if the teachers can understand that the kids can be the experts at that, you don't have to be the expert. But if you drive the pedagogy around what you're trying to teach with that, using that as a tool for a vehicle for learning, not necessarily having to be the expert at everything, that's sort of the key to what we do. And
that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
And your client is actually two people, right? It's the teacher, and then it's the students, right? Because the teacher needs to learn how to teach it, and the student's the client as well, right?
That's right, yeah. So, we're not just teaching the teachers per se, we're also in the classrooms working with the kids as well. So what we're trying to do is model how a teacher might represent that particular technology in the classroom and how they might integrate it into their teaching and learning programs. So we are hands-on with the kids, and that's what I love about my job the most. That's why I became a teacher, is to be there with the kids and see those light bulb moments that the kids have when they figure out a problem or a concept themselves.
That's pretty fulfilling, right?
Oh, 100%.
Pretty awesome.
Best feeling. That's why you become a teacher, and to be able to then give those kids that skill and then also be able to drive the teachers learning around how to navigate that. It's a win-win-win situation. It's a win for me and my
win for
teachers, and then it's a win for the school teacher, the classroom teacher, and the kids themselves. So
yeah, absolutely. So tell me, for you, Matt, how did you deal with kind of shifting from being, the teacher to then being the business owner? Because no offense here, but a lot of teachers that I know are more teachers than they would be business owners, and I don't know a lot of teachers actually that have become business owners because usually they're kind of safe in that environment, they stay there. So I suppose what made you do this shift and saying, well, I've done the teaching and now I'm going to, come over to being a business owner. That's a interesting transition there, and I'm just wondering how you sort of dealt with that.
Well, originally, I set the business up to be a job for myself. So
Yeah,
it wasn't, you always have aspirations to be bigger and better. But I'd probably guess for the first sort of 5 years, I grew it to be a full-time job just for myself. And we sort of just potted along, I suppose you could say. And then, we started to get the stress point where we were having more schools come to us than what I could facilitate. So that's where we needed to start to onboard new staff. And how do we find that new staff member? How do we find someone that can replace me and do what I do? And I was lucky enough to find a couple of teachers that were a little bit in the same situation as me. They were experienced teachers in the classroom, very good practitioners, but just had burnt out. They were a little bit, I wouldn't say negative around about teaching, but they were just physically exhausted with all of the workload. And it's actually a lot worse now in the classroom than it was, 10, 15 years ago. Just the extra expectations around the department or the Catholic Schools office or whatever with the data that they've got to collect, the individual learning plans and all that sort of stuff. And they haven't been given any extra time off class to be able to manage that. I don't care what you say. Teachers work during the school holidays. They work until 11 o'clock at night. It's not a 9 to 3 job. It's
everyone thinks it's 6 weeks holiday job.
Yeah, and you're the parent, you're the social worker.
Oh man, yeah.
Pediatrician, you're the.
It's a tough job. Yeah, absolutely.
So
and there's a lot of regulations around it now. So
100%.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And for you, Matt, tell me, like as a business owner, for you, how do you kind of deal with stress and problems that pop up and stuff? Because a lot of business owners, obviously, that I speak to, are, everyone kind of handles stress differently. Some people kind of freak out with it, other people kind of manage it, and you're a pretty calm guy, man. So I just wanted to, just get a feel about maybe what strategy you use where it comes to, dealing with issues or stuff that comes up.
Well, I'm a lot better now than what I was, say, 3 or 4 years ago. Like, when that light bulb moment, or not a light bulb moment, but when I came to the realization that I had to turn this into a proper business and I had to understand how to run a business. As you said, I was just a school teacher. I had good organisational skills, good leadership skills. I've been, cricket coach since I was like 15 years old. So working with people and communicating in an environment, wasn't an issue for me. It was all around the back end of managing that business. So a lot of book reading, a lot of listening to podcasts, audio books. I found yourself. I was probably searching for a bit of a mentor and sort of came across Up Coach at that particular time after 6 months of doing a bit of research around how I should set up a business. What does that look like? What does a successful business look like? And all of that sort of led me to understanding mindset and how you think about things. So my mindset now is a lot stronger than what it was sort of 2 to 3 years ago. And you would see the growth in that, some of the stresses that I had early on now, I just sort of, just flick it off my chest and I move on. So I think it all comes down to mindset. And I think, if you put the analogy of, well, let's look at this glass here, is it half full or is it half empty? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I see myself sort of around about here, but I'm not taking water out of the cup. I'm filling it up.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to learn stuff and fill my cup up as opposed to taking.
That's interesting. Like I love how you're, completely focused on personal development and obviously business development. I think the growth I've seen for you just from being, the earlier type of entrepreneur to where you are today, and I think you hit a couple of nails there on the head. There's so much great available podcasts, videos to watch, interviews to check out, and anybody that's watching this or listening to this, I think you've really got to immerse yourself today. There's so much great free content and Audible that we talk a lot about, and books that you've inspired me to read and stuff, obviously, that I've spoken to you about. And I think as an entrepreneur, it's an ongoing level of growth, right? It's an ongoing commitment to bettering yourself. And there's no excuse today for, oh, I can't get any information. Because at the click of your fingers, there's anything that you literally want.
Well, five years ago, you know, we don't have an office. I mean, I'm in my home office right now, but our office is the school classroom. So, you know, top car. So, you know, I'd be spending, you know, probably an hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours a day, driving to and from a different school. So, you know, 3 years ago, I was just listening to the radio. Now I'm listening to podcasts, you know, or I'm listening to audiobooks. So I'm using that downtime when I'm just sitting there driving
to educate yourself.
To educate myself. And you know, if you know, I get a good idea about from a particular podcast. Oh yeah, I should sort of maybe have a go at doing that, or try something a little bit different here. Or I've got this particular issue. Let's see if I can work a way to manage myself around it. So. You know, just using those little downtimes where, you know, otherwise you'd be wasting your time just listening to music or listening to talkback radio.
Crap that's on the radio.
Yeah, just you know, Ray Hadley talking crap or what's the FM?
Yeah, or like 106.5 or oh man, they're just like they're death those things. They're worried about why Meghan Markle isn't loved by the Queen or some crap like that. It's just like, man.
And you know, if you're listening to positive stuff and you're listening to good people's stories, you know, people who've been in business and, you know, might have lost it all, or, you know, someone.
Absolutely.
You know, it might be just a podcast on a general well-being podcast where, you know, someone has had a pretty tough time and they've, you know, bounced back and now they're profiting. So it's a good way to fill your head with positivity.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me, Matt, you know, for you, what's been good about, I suppose, working with a business coach? You know, that prior to working, and obviously it's me here, but I'm just wondering for you, what's been, you know, good. Maybe you know, what's one or two great wins that you've had, you know, with that's kind of working.
I've had a stack of wins. Like I didn't have any systems in place, I guess you could say, when we started working together. So, you know, a lot of my systems now are pretty well automated. Not spending time, or I don't have anyone spending time on stuff that can be automated. So, you know, whereas before I was, you know, spending a couple of hours a week on accounts or, you know, chasing up invoicing and all that sort of stuff, that's all pretty well automated now. New leads coming in, everything's automated in the sense that, you know, previously I'd get the lead in, then I'd add it to the email database. I'd have to add it to the SMS database. I'd send them an email out. All that sort of stuff is now automated. So I'm not wasting as much time. I reckon we'd probably save 30 to 40 hours a month just with the systems that we've put in. I mean, you times that by $50 an hour. Like, you know,
yeah, exactly. Or hanging out with the kids or whatever, right? So
that's it. Yeah. So all that's been pretty good. And then, you know, just understanding how to operate and how to set goals. And, you know, I've got my little goal setting spreadsheet now. So I know in regards to our numbers where we need to be and we're targeting, you know, and we can break that down by the different products that we've got. Like
you're the best with numbers, man.
I didn't have that 3 years ago. So
I
was just you know, 3 years ago, my marketing would have been right. I've got half a day in the office here. Let's just send some EDMs out. And, you know, whenever I send an EDM, I'd always have sales come in. And then, you know, I wonder why I didn't have sales this week. Well, I haven't sent any EDMs out, but now that's all automated. So it's just sort of drip feeds out over.
And now we send out an email and book a class with 30 people in it with you know, in 2 emails. It's pretty awesome.
2 emails, sent it out. Book 30 people up for a course. You know, that's just it's just crazy, isn't it? Money.
Crazy, right? Yeah. So, which is really good. And tell me, Matt, let's say, you know, for you, because obviously, you know, you're a little bit hesitant before you joined, and obviously it's commitment financially. And there's people that are watching this that maybe just sitting on the fence a little bit, or just, you know, to be honest, they're just a little bit concerned. Are they going to make the right decision? Or whatever. And I know, you know, you're pretty conservative, man. So, you know, I wanted to kind of get a feel there for what you'd tell somebody if they're sort of sitting a bit like that before they, you know, take that you know, next step to business coaching, or to, you know, to join up coach or whatever. Like how would that be for you? You know, like what would you say to them that, you know, well, from your experience, obviously?
Yeah, well, I think from an education sort of perspective, like not everyone, you could read as many books as you want, but to have someone there next to you, looking over, not necessarily looking over your shoulder, but they're supporting you to bounce ideas off, and to hold you account too. Like, I mean, you're the business owner, who's going to hold you to account? Like, your missus might do that when she goes to the shops and the Visa card doesn't work. But you know, in regards to knowing what your goals are and to help drive those goals, and then support you with the systems or help you develop the systems to put those in place. I think that's really, really important. So, you know, look at what's happened to us in the last 2 years. We've had 2 bouts of COVID. The only thing that could shut my business down is if school shut down, and what's happened in the last 2 years. First time in 100 years that's happened.
First time, yeah, since they were riding with
Ned
Kelly or something
so,
like that.
I can understand a natural disaster shutting a school. That's fine, but that's only a temporary measure. That's not, you know, 3 months.
Yeah, maybe one school, not all schools, right?
Not all schools. So, you know, that first COVID year of 2020, you know, we were shut down for a term. So that was about 3 months. And that was quite hard to take. I think that was maybe 6 months into us starting to work with you. So we weren't quite there with our systems and stuff. So, you know, we pivoted a little bit, did some online stuff, which sort of helped us over the line, I guess, for the next term, because we'll still we'll shut out for, you know, a good 12 weeks. And then from that July, that financial year period after that first bit of COVID, we had a 20% record increase from the previous year. And that's all to do with the systems that we put in place. And then last year when we had the COVID, we were actually out for 6 months. So we were locked out of schools for running workshops for 6 months. We did a fair bit of online stuff, and we were able to do that because we had those systems set up in place the year before. So
correct.
We actually, in the last financial year, we just finished off our reports, and we actually but we beat the previous record, and we had 6 months off.
Considering,
so if we didn't have those 6 months off,
we would have smashed it. We'll run our way. And by the way, for anybody listening to this or watching this, Matt's not a little business. He's 7 figures. So you guys are aware, because some people go, oh, you know, it's just a little teaching business. It isn't. And it's we're growing to
5 years ago it was a little teaching business.
5 years ago it was, but now we're not. Yeah, now we're all over the country and we're doing all of this really cool stuff, which is awesome. So I suppose what you're saying, Matt, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but from what I'm getting here is anybody that's sort of sitting on the fence, and this, once again, I don't want to kind of sound weird, but anyone sitting on the fence without, I suppose, my support there to be able to do it, it would have been tough for you. It would have been.
Oh, look, 100%, I would have been out of business. Simple as that. If I didn't have those systems, like, you know, the first COVID we got through, but if I didn't have those systems that we'd set up, like if I still had my systems the way I was doing things before UpCoach, I would have been out of business 12 months ago.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty awesome. So, well, that's good that you're here and growing, buddy, which is
and now we're sort of COVID proof too. So
well, completely. Yeah, we've designed it like that, which is awesome.
So we've got a number of cogs now operating that.
Absolutely, yeah, multiple income streams.
We can turn a cog on or slow it down, or we can do whatever we need to do depending on the environment.
I love it, man. Tell me, Matt, a couple more questions. What would be, you know, the ultimate goal for you and the business? You know, just tell the listener where you'd kind of like to take it, and you know where your vision is for the company.
Well, you know, I think the end game for me would be to obviously be sitting on the beach and drinking cocktails, like everyone's dream, isn't it?
Yeah,
but I think what ideally what I'd like to be able to do is you know, have a number of different lot more teachers in different regions, obviously, and then continue and develop that online product, because that online product enables us to go international. So once that's finished getting set up, the new version of it, you know, we can go international. So that means all the teachers in the USA, all the teachers in the UK, all the teachers in Asia, any English speaking country we can target. So in regards to annual or even monthly revenue, recurring revenue, that's going to be our sort of our staple our staple product in the next 2 to 3 years. So where the face-to-face stuff was, you know, for the last 10 years, and was our queen bee in regards to, if that wasn't working, then we weren't.
Now it's all bulletproof, right? Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man.
It's now sort of switched to the online. So
I mean, it's Matt, it's just me hearing you, that just puts, you know, goosebumps on the back of my head. And just for anybody that's listening here, you know, Matt, as you know, wasn't kind of forward planner or thinker or thinking at this global level now. And we really have designed a product now that at some levels could also be translated into other countries and non-speak English speaking as well. But, you know,
reason why you couldn't.
you know what I mean? Like, I just thought about that. And another thing is, I know Matt's got product that we're white labeling. That's, you know, that we're being able to sell, you know, import stuff, and there's so many great things, man, which is just the best, man. I can't wait to see what this turns into, which is cool. Two more questions. I said two more, just a question before, but two more. Number one, what do you love doing when you're not working, man? What's your gig? Cricket's your thing, right? Like
any sport, like, but also time with family. Like we just love driving on the beach and just getting out, you know, sitting in the surf and just getting those sun rays. You know, me and my son love going to the footy and the cricket. You know, the girls had to come along yesterday because it was Father's Day. So. One was going to make a sign, I'm here because it was Father's Day.
That's perfect. Yeah, because of this guy. Yeah, that's funny, dude.
But I love just watching my kids growing up, you know.
That's a passion of yours, right?
Yeah, I mean, my oldest daughter's just finished year 11 now, and she was 18 months, 2 years old when I sort of left teaching. So, you know, she's planning her journey in regards to what she's going to do after school, which is really good. She's really focused and has got a fantastic mindset. And then, you know, the 12-year-old and the 10-year-old boy. So,
dude. That's it. Yeah. How can people get in touch if they want to know more by, you know, product for their kids? Just, you know, because you got so many great courses.
Oh yeah, well, we got
a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah, we got some really cool little technology for learning at home. So, you know, if you're looking for kids' birthday presents or Christmas presents, you know, we've got a number of really good stuff that's suitable for anywhere between 6 years old or not even 6 years old, 4 years old all the way through to 18 years old. So some really good stuff on our website, and there's also some learn at home programs too. So if the kids want to get the product, then they can do some online lessons as well. So it's all on our website under Creative Kids for the parents. It's Sammat.education, all one word. It's not .com.au or .net or anything like that. It's just Sammat, SAMMAT .education. And I didn't tell you how I got the name Sammat, Nick.
No, well, how did you get the name Sammat?
Yeah, well, my name's Matt and my wife's name's Samantha. So that's how we came up with Sam Matt. Well, she gets called Sam and I get called Matt. So that's how I came up with it.
Yeah, the his and hers of .coms. Actually, .education. Yeah,
and it's always good to put the wife first. So that's why.
Happy wife, happy life, buddy. Very good.
She's been my biggest supporter. She is a teacher and she's still teaching. She's a deputy principal, and you know, she's been relieving principal on occasions, and she's just about to take that next step very soon. A lot of people are pushing her that way. You know, without her support, especially early on when, you know, I left a very comfortable teaching job, you know, income every 2 weeks in the pocket, no worries, to start a business up. Without her support, then, you know, that would never have happened. So,
well, hopefully we're going to give her back everything that she deserves.
Yeah, she's one in a million. So, you know, without her support, So to have her name on the business and my name on the business,
it's proud.
great
Well, you know, it's interesting, Matt, you know, how many people we've got like husband and wife type teams. And this is a journey for both people. You know, I just interviewed somebody on another podcast and they work together. And I said, you know, like you've got to consider it could be the best times of your life, or it could be a, you know, arguing every day part.
Well,
they said something interesting to me. They said, Nick, you got no idea how much, you know, you also kind of influence our personal and relationship stuff just by, you know, the stuff that you talk about. You know, and that was pretty cool. I didn't even think about it like that, you know, so, you know, just having that. So, but great to talk to you, Matt, man. I know you're a rock star dude, so thanks for being on the show. You know, we'll have notes obviously on this for people to check out. So, you know, I know your business is going great, man. And, you know, you touch a lot of lives, you know, young lives, which is really, really awesome. They're the future of our planet, man. So it's always a good thing. So thank you, mate. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you on a session.
Thanks for having me.